Welcome to the channel, I'm Amedio602, and today we're going to go through the base weapon stats for the different weapons in Call of Duty Vanguard. When you go into the gunsmith, you can go over any attachment and press the R2 button, or 2 if you're using the keyboard and mouse, and it's going to show you all of the base weapon stats. You can move up and down, and you can see that the different attachments have different impacts on the weapon. For instance, when you equip the 2.5x scope, the ADS time on the STG-44 is going to decrease by 3.9%. But in exchange for that, not only do you get the 2.5x zoom, but you also get improved idle sway control and recoil control. If you just go over one of the 1.3x sights, you can see all the base weapon stats as long as you have no other attachments equipped on the weapon. We're going to go through and do this for each of the weapons here, and we're going to leave it up on the screen for about 10 seconds each. And at the end of each weapon class, we're going to stop and compare all the weapons in that class. So that was the STG-44. Next up we have the Automaton, and again, same thing, you just go into the optic, press R2, and that's going to show you all the base stats for this gun. The Automaton, for instance, has a base damage of 22 and an effective damage range of 2,550 inches. Moving on to the next weapon, we have the Itra Burst. Keep in mind this is of course a burst fire weapon, so our damage is going to be a little bit higher, and our rate of fire is going to be a little bit lower. I recommend whenever you are going through and setting up a new weapon in the gunsmith to go through and check out these details and make sure that you're not doing anything crazy to your weapon. For example, with the bar, you can change the magazine type here, and notice when you use the 20 round magazine that your damage decreases all the way down to 28. After the bar, we've got the AS-44. The AS-44 you can see has a base damage of 24. And next up we've got the NZ-41. Base damage of 40, so it's much higher damage, but at the same time the fire rate's going to be lower. And the last assault rifle we've got is the Volk. The Volk, you can see here, has a damage of 28 with a medium fire rate of 750 RPM. Of particular note for the Volk, you might notice that we've got this 60 round drum magazine, and that does not impact our damage. A lot of these different magazine attachments do impact our damage. All of the base weapon stats for all of the assault rifles in the game are on the screen right now. There are a couple things to keep in mind while you're looking at this chart. The very first thing to keep in mind is that these are the values from the game itself. These may be correct, they may not be correct. I did not go through and test every single one of these individually, so please take this chart with a grain of salt. The second thing to keep in mind is that weapon balancing in the future are definitely going to cause changes to these values. So while this is a great reference, please be sure to go into the game and check for yourself if you're looking at this video sometime in the future. The third and final thing to know is that the attachments play a huge part in this game, and that any of these weapons can be dramatically altered with any number of attachments. Now we're going to start on the submachine guns. First up we've got the ever popular MP40. So you can see all the base weapon stats for the MP40 right there. And next we've got the Sten. After the Sten we have the M1928. Next we have the Owen gun. Next we have the Type 100. Last but not least we have the PPSH. On the screen right now, you can see all of the submachine guns compared. And keep in mind the same reminders that I mentioned before. These weapon stats may not be accurate, they will change over time, and your attachments will have a major impact on each one of these. Moving right along, now we have the shotguns. We're going to start off with the Einhorn Revolving. Next, we have the ever-popular Combat Shotgun. The third shotgun is the Gracie Auto. And finally, we have the Double Barrel Shotgun. On the screen now, you can see all of the shotguns compared. This is also a great time to hit that like button if you'd like to help out the channel, and make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss more content like this in the future. Moving on to the LMGs, first we have the MG42. Next we have the DP-27, or as I like to call it, the Starship Enterprise. Next we have the Type 11. And finally we have the Bren. You can compare all 4 of the LMGs in the game by looking at the chart on the screen right now. Now for the Marksman rifles. First we have the M1 Garand. Next we have the SVT-40. Finally, we have the G43. We're going to do things a little bit differently for the Marksman rifles and the Sniper rifles. I'm actually going to combine those together because both of these weapon classes serve similar purposes and there are only 3 of each one. The Sniper rifles are just a little bit different. When you go into the gunsmith on the Snipers, notice that they do have some different weapon stats with that first sight, so you're going to want to go down to about the 3rd or 4th sight on the list until you don't have any red or green numbers. When all the numbers are white, that means that you're looking at the base stats for that weapon. Second, we have the 3-line rifle. And the third and final sniper rifle is the Kar 98K. And just in case you missed it before, here's another look at that chart comparing the Marksman rifles and the Sniper rifles. The Combat Shield does not have Gunsmith, so we're going to skip that one. And similarly, the FS Fighting Knife and the launchers, they're the same way. They have no gunsmith, so we're just going to go through and do the handguns real quick. The first handgun is the Rat. Next, we have the Top Break Revolver. Next, we have the 1911. Next, we have the Clouser. And the final pistol is the Machine Pistol. This one, you'll notice right away, is fully automatic at nearly 900 RPM. Our last chart here compares all of the base weapon stats for all of the pistols. And it's really interesting to see that that machine pistol, even though it fires at full auto, does not have bonus headshot damage. Just in case you missed anything, we're going to flash all of the charts on the screen right now for a few seconds each. Feel free to pause the video and take a look for as long as you need. If you notice anything interesting in those charts, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to catch more videos like this in the future. And as always, thank you very much for watching.